co-piloting this morning.
Brightness, he finds similarities.
And it's an absolute pleasure to kickstart your morning
On the town with ears on the ground.
with some great music, insightful conversations, and a burst of positive vibes.
Throwing tokens, wearing jeans,
So set your alarms, grab that cup of motivation,
totalitarian swag,
and let's dive into the sunrise together.
tearing down his walls of doubt. And just like that, he's chosen muse. Bold with desire, he walks up to inquire.
So welcome again.
Why required to sing in his choir?
This is your source
The poor man's pin.
of authoritative information,
Internet access.
infectious enthusiasm. It's the best way to start your day.
Not as you,
And yes, we do say so ourselves.
gullible white
Rise and
black
shine.
if you can too.
This is 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.
Hard pressed on finding love. You must go into mind deep, but do not let your mind scheme be exposed with a fixation on money. Scratch at the crust, gain her trust. Sugarcoat your words with honey. Let him propose. Pose from the post of business for those who possess the dough. Say you're an African prince whose family gold must be sold, or be a simple lover in need to be single mothers. Soon she will wire fans to.
Well, today is the third day of the first month in the year 2024. It's a glorious Thursday morning.
Thanks. Swiftly turns in glee. Can't wait to unleash his.
We're still relishing in the newness of the new year. Hope you had a great start to the new year. If you've only just returned to us after the festivities, well, a happy new year to you again. It's a good day to have a good day.
Walks up to inquire, what do I require to sing in this choir? Consultancy didn't cost a poor man's pin. Aston was answered, internet access, get married to the Wi-Fi, and one's groom proceed to chat room. Not as you, but as whom will seem most legible to these gullible white people. Black if you can too. Find a woman or a man in the West, hopefully depressed. And
Over shortly, we'll be connecting with Felicity
do
Ahafianyo.
not let your mind scheme be exposed with a.
She is a chief forecaster with the Ghana Mets. She'll be letting us know what to expect as far as today's weather is concerned. And we had an extensive conversation with her yesterday,
Say you're an African.
gauging the temperature of the year, if you will.
Be a simple lover in need to be single mothers. Soon she will wire
It's been quite a hot festive period.
for your flight.
I hope you're hydrating, staying out of the sun as much as you're able to.
So you say his thanks. Swiftly turns in glee.
Felicity says it's only about to get hotter. We need to brace ourselves. All right, and let's connect now with Felicity Ahafianyo. Felicity, good morning to you.
Good morning, Helen.
How are we doing this morning?
This morning, by the grace, I'm better today than yesterday.
Fantastic. What should we expect as far as the weather is concerned in the capital and beyond?
Thanks so much, and good morning to our dear viewers and listeners. For today, we expect most parts of the country to remain dry and hazy, with visibility ranging between 4,000 and 8,000 meters. For those of us in Greater Accra, this morning we expect it to be misty, with visibilities around 5,000. But some patches or some areas are likely to have 3,000 meters. For the central and western region, we are having some rain-bearing clouds drifting towards their area. So we expect some clouds in the sky over them, and then we expect some short-lived showers this morning and then later in the day. The afternoon will become hazy sunshine across the 16 regions. Temperatures will be a bit hot and some areas are likely to have make it a bit unbearable for them. 38 for the north, 36, 35 for the transition and the middle. And then for those of us in the capital, we are expecting temperatures to be around 34 degrees Celsius. For the state of the sea, we expect it to be calm, but then we are having bands of rain clouds over the sea closer to the equator. So fisher folks that will be doing fishing activities today, they need to prepare for some rain over the ocean. Volta Lake, not much rain is anticipated, but then the challenge is the visibilities at dawn hours. So we expect them to also be on the lookout if they want to do any activities in the night into the morning hours.
Thank you so much for that, Felicity. As always, we'll be checking out for further updates if they do come.
All right, we'll definitely do that.
Have a fantastic Thursday. Again, that was Felicity Ahafianyo giving us insight into what the weather is going to be looking like today. Well, time check, some 32 minutes past the hour of 8 as the time reads in the studio. You're still tuned into the best breakfast show in all of the land. This is 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7.
I'm here to heavy, me to take me to Gabada. I'm here to home, me to way, me to Dabala. I'm here to heavy, me to take me to Dabala. Maro to Hawaii, Maro to Nogopo. We don't know where you they come from. My bad to Topo. For
Bars, Crosby. That's what the kids call bars.
Yeah.
Are you familiar with that isn't even Gen Z lingo, but what Gen Z lingo do you know? Period. When they say period.
How do they pronounce the PURR thing?
Per.
What does it mean?
It's like a kuye. You know what I'm saying? Per.
Yeah,
per. Repeat after me, per.
When they talk Saturday, they say, and that's on period.
And that's, but you have to
what's
add
that?
the hand movements. Are you getting right now? And they say, and that's on period. Crosby, are you taking your lesson seriously?
This one won't take me to heaven.
A lot on our radar this morning. 3 FM Sunrise. Transport fares expected to soar as new taxes kick in. I thought Menu said she had some great news for us on the business front, but this sounds like some not so great news, because that means that the cost of living is going to be rising and rising and rising. But going up as high as 60%, I don't know. Is that fair? Because these taxes that are being imposed, it's a one-time tax, if you will, of
Well,
100 Ghana cedis. Crosby.
In their defense, they say that they are already overburdened.
Okay.
So if you add this to that, you're just making the situation worse, and they have to find a way to maneuver around the situation. So they're just bringing it down onto the consumers, so that the consumers will be the ones who pay. They have over close to 15 taxes already on their books, and some they don't see the relevance of. So it is in their defense that they want this 60% increment. The argument of it not being fair could be true, but the argument that they are overburdened is also true. We just have to find a middle ground somewhere.
So we say two things can be true at the same time.
Of course. But it will not be the 60% outright. I'm sure they're going to be maybe a middle ground somewhere.
Gradually?
Yes, maybe 20. The 60 will not be approved. Maybe it will be around 15, 20, then it keeps going forward. That's how it's going to work, and that's unfortunately how we're beginning the 2024. The Yango and Uber drivers, car owners, there's also vehicle owners, those who run on diesel and all of that. They're
That's
also
right.
beginning the income tax. That is also another burden that we will have to shoulder.
Good morning, Johnny. A lot of reactions to this post about transport fares soaring as new taxes kick in. Endurance Mensa Clement says, brace yourself for more increases across the board. Kelvin Opoku, what is the relationship between lorry fares and taxes? Oh, come on. EM Ajiri says, we tire you people all. New Era says, we are moving from taxation to production. We're giving business tax reliefs to drive the economy. Hey, in Bawemia voice. He says, we no see anything yet. Junior at Love is Pure says, is this the corner that we have turned? Achiever says, we no go agree. Yesterday we were talking about the president's legacy.
Yeah, and it goes back to buttress the point that we made yesterday, from taxation to production. How many more taxes has this government introduced? And the interesting thing is that governments around the world, when they want to, particularly if you like African governments, when they want to make the citizens think that they are really in love with them or they care for them, they try to reduce, an existing tax, and then they pull in another one, or they increase an existing one. Then after 3 months, 6 months, maybe a year, they reduce it slightly.
That's right.
So was done for the communication service tax. It was sitting somewhere quietly at 3, and then we took it at 6, and then we took it up to 9, and then we brought it down small and said, we'll clap for us. You have still increased it.
Meanwhile, other taxes have even come.
Exactly that. So the question you ask is, when, for example, Dr. Bawumia told us that we don't need to tax the people because the taxes are hurting. That tape is there.
That's
we'll
right.
play today. The taxes are hurting, and
Was it Dr. Bawumia who said it's a lazy way of raising revenue?
Not just Dr. Bawumia. There's so many people who in this government now who said that it was a lazy approach to doing
That's
it.
right.
It's like a man standing in the bucket trying to lift himself up. All those things were said. Now, given the benefit of power, they have done even worse than what they were criticizing.
That's right.
And the worst part is that you can't even find what the taxes are being used for. Because in addition to the taxes that are already being collected from the people, you're also borrowing more than what your predecessors combined, from Dr. Kwame Nkrumah all down to John Dramani Mahama. What they borrowed together, you have borrowed more than all of them put together. And you have collected more taxes than all of them put together. But the evidence on the ground it's not being felt by the people. Today, if you say 4 more for Nana, diehard MPP people who were in 2020 telling all of us in our faces, form for Nana, and they were pushing all of us. When you tell them form for Nana, then they get angry. When
There's
you say
one person there.
one village, one dam, then they get angry.
Nana under the post.
Yes.
Fire emoji. Fire
Yes.
emoji.
Then
fire
when you say one village, one dam, then they get angry. I say, but why are you angry?
Oh, I went to tweet. I said one village, one dam, one constituency, $1 million, 1 week, one scandal. They were not very happy with that.
No, you see, when you add 1 week, one scandal, then you know. I mean, just the slogan that was put out there: one district, one factory. And what was it supposed to do? It was supposed to industrialize. It was supposed to create jobs. It was supposed to take produce from the farms that were going to be supported by the state, okay? And then you have the whole triangle properly working. 7 years on, into the 8th year, what is the story? Those are the arguments that the reality, and it's not about the sloganeering anymore. This morning, if you want to drink your coffee,
that's right.
Where do you source your coffee from?
They've got an awful lot of coffee in
Where
Brazil.
do you source your sugar from if you're using sugar? Where do you source your honey from if you're using honey?
Yeah.
If you want to add milk, where do you source it from?
Right.
These are the basic questions. This morning, somebody's using a tea bag. Where do they source it from? The flour for their bread, where do they source it from? The margarine and the butter for baking the bread, where do they source it from? All these conversations are the real conversation, because if you look at our inflation, these things that I'm mentioning, like your dining table items particularly, which we call food inflation, is at the top.
That's right.
So if you have not done anything to bring them down, and yet we have had planting for food and jobs, one district, one factory, which is supposed to industrialize to feed the what do you call it, the masses, and then one village, one dam, which is supposed to irrigate, and then the dry season is here, right?
That's right.
Go and check the dams that we spent money to.
I believe they're even drier than the Harmattan.
The dams get dried when it's dry season. I mean, what kind of useful dam gets dry when the season is dry?
When we need the water.
The dam is supposed to be wet when the season is dry. But when the season gets dry, the dam gets dry. I mean, it just doesn't add up.
So a shaky start to 2024, and the projections don't look great, but a lot of conversations still going on social media as far as transport fares are concerned. We'll wade into that some more as we also talk money matters. It's very, very important. SML catapulted back into the limelight as the presidency wades into this. They're calling on KPMG to audit the contract, audit the financials. But interestingly, the Ministry of Finance has been left out of this. But we know it's a Ministry of Finance, SML, and a GRA sort of triangle, if you will. So questions are being raised already about the efficacy of this incoming KPMG auditing.
I think that by now everybody should know that the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, will not touch Mr. Ken Ofori-Atta. By now, everybody should make up their mind and know.
Is that why he's excluded from this?
I said by now, everybody should know. Because if you look at the things, the scandals and the things that are connected to the finance minister, waking up to go and see Martin Amidu at dawn with another cousin of the president or nephew of the president. I mean, too many things. A Japa deal, Kroll Associates there, this one, and you talk about, okay, who is advising us to go and contract which loan, and who is a transaction advisor for the loan, who are the insurers of those loans are, and who the legal advisors of those loans are, and you see a certain triangle of family people and friends trying to, I mean, MPs, both the majority and minority side say, oh, we don't want Ken Ofori-Atta, we don't want to see him, he should go, he should not read the budget, we will not participate, blah blah blah. He's still there. I mean, so by now everybody should know that the president's beloved is Ken Ofori-Atta. In the history of this country, it has never happened before that the budget statement of the government would be read like a literature book in parliament. Osei Chimensa is not a finance person. He's not an economist. At the time when Osei Chimensa was reading the budget for 2021,
won, right?
Right.
Because in 2020 we had a transition budget. So in 2021 he read the full budget after the first quarter because it had expired, or just around that time.
That's right.
Ken Ofori-Atta was not well. He
That's
was
right.
out of a jurisdiction trying to get medical assistance. We had to wait for Ken Ofori-Atta to be well to come back to take on the role of the finance minister. And we read the budget statement of the country like a literature book in parliament. That should tell you that Ofori-Atta is not going anywhere in Akufo-Addo's books. So with this damning allegation that has been made and the evidence that he's now asking KPMG to investigate, you're right, the finance ministry is involved.
That's right.
Why would you mention two entities, GRA and SML, and leave the finance ministry out? Why?
What are you expecting in 2 weeks when this report is due?
Me. What I'm expecting.
Crosby, what are you expecting when the report is due in 2 weeks' time?
For me, the good thing is it's not only KPMG that is investigating this. The OSP has also been petitioned. Parliament
is also involved.
Also looking at this. So, regardless what one outcome may be, that may not include the finance ministry. Maybe the other investigations will mention a role or two the finance ministry play that should be looked at going forward. Well, just like Johnny was not too excited about the expectations, we expect only English and some explanations, justifications here and there. We don't see this going to like any proper end. We'll be suspended somewhere somehow. We wouldn't know how this will end. Unfortunately, that's the trend. So that's what we've come to expect. If there was a trend of bringing finality, punishing people for what they've done wrong, so and lessons have been learned, then we could expect a thorough job to be done. But unfortunately, it does not seem like that.
You know, the outcomes of these investigations, and there have been probes where we have spent public funds to do. What happened to cash for seats? Remember cash for seats?
Yeah.
Where you pay bribe or you pay gate fee to sit close to the president.
Yeah.
What happened? What happened to cash for seats? What happened to Abu Jinapo and Asenso Boachi collecting $20,000 gate fee at the presidency? What happened to it? What happened to Sarah Joseph for not being in office for donkey years? Kennedy Japan saying that he was personally giving $124,000 to go and put into a Fidelity Bank account which he deposited and all of that, the chartered plane and all of that. What happened to Adjo Asafo? What I can give you a tall list of things that. What happens to Sierra Dapa? Plenty. I can give you a tall list of it.
Reverend Kusi Boateng, what happens to
Reverend Edu Jemfi, Reverend Kusi Boateng, double identity, holding a diplomatic passport.
You recently celebrated one of his birthdays.
So what happened? What happened to them? So it tells you clearly that the incorruptible Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo won't do anything about it. Look, I also West Wogan. We spent money.
That's right.
Ejura, we spent money.
That's
we
right.
put a whole professor, a general, and another on the probe, right? What happened?
IGP.
Macho Kaka, IGP probe. What has happened? There are too many of them. And I'm saying this will be just another example. Bring the report, slap a white paper on it, everybody talks 1 week, 2 weeks, we all go and sleep. Matter finish. Ofori-Atta still wears white, quotes for us the Bible, buys a $4,000 bag, reads another budget for us maybe.
It's business as usual.
We've gone. That's it. So when you ask me what I'm expecting the usual, like Crosby said, the usual movie, the horror movie we are all watching. Let's watch it.
Well, that's very unfortunate because with 1 year to go for the president to exit office, even the
It's no
perception
longer
of
1 year.
actually less than that.
Yeah. Today is
perception-
his third day into the year.
He says that this is our year.
Yeah, I mean you know, yesterday I told you that the president now is seeing failure staring him in the face. He has now maybe come to the reality that I have failed. If I compare the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo that we all knew and heard about and read about and admired before he became president. If you look at him then and now, you will clearly see that he has departed from the principles that he strongly held on to. One would have thought that he would have been a no-nonsense person. And I've said this before. I said, look, when it became apparent for 10 people from within the ranks of the New Patriotic Party to put themselves up for the role of flag bearer, including the vice president, current sitting vice president, who the president of the day said, I brought him in because he is the sharp man and I need his brains to govern. And he knows how to help me to govern. All the 10 of them said, we have a new vision. Dr. Bawumia says, I will be my own man. Kwabena Jipon says, we have a new vision. Alpha Fanto, what was his name? Alan Chamantin says, oh, things could have been done better. And these are cabinet ministers and all of them coming to say that, look, things will change. We are bringing a new vision. And they say we are bringing a new vision. Flip the coin. When President Kufuor was leaving office, and 17 people, including Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, Joe Gate, who still contested him, Adai Nimo, and all those people came to contest. They said they were coming to continue the legacy of J.A. Kufuor. There's a difference between wanting to continue the legacy of Noble Crosby Annan, and the difference to say that, okay, we are coming to change the things, because
that means what is in place is not working.
It's not working.
It's not fit for purpose.
But you know the interesting thing? The government campaigned on a message of change. You remember the 2012 campaign? Change must come.
That's right.
And this must go. 2016 campaign, change. In fact, it started in 2008.
Yeah, Yeri System.
Change must come. Incorruptible Banana Akufo-Addo. Yenimu fritete. So the question is, did the change come or did the change not come? And those same 10 people who told us that we are bringing a new vision, who are now beginning to change some of them beginning to change their tune, should we be taking them serious? Or should we not be taking them serious because maybe some of them are just looking for the vice presidential slot? These are questions that must be asked. But
that's right.
I mean, under 1 year to the closure of his tenure, I'm saying again, the president has seen failure staring at him. And I'm sure that when he sleeps, he doesn't sleep because he's now thinking about, what would I be remembered for? Any good leader would think about that.
That's right.
What would I be remembered for? Really, if I ask you, what
I mean, yesterday we went through all the things that we thought might be the ones that the president could stand on, and we punched holes in all of those.
It's not us punching holes, it's they themselves punching holes. Free SHS. We started the implementation of free SHS before we brought the policy. PFJ. See, name the things. Which of the government's initiatives have you had the policy document for people to vet? Even our going to the IMF. When we ask what program are we taking to what proposition are we taking to the IMF so people can make an input? No, we didn't see it.
No.
Now we go and hit a snag for the second tranche, which was supposed to have come about 3 months ago.
That's right.
And then we say, oh, we have not failed. We have still turned the corner. Who are you fooling? A Komodo. Idianisio. You see, oh, I'm fine. Then when everybody leaves the room, you go and scoop one spoon and quickly eat and come and sit back and say, oh, accommodate me. So you would die of hunger.
What one legacy would you attribute to President Akufo-Addo? We were trying to put our heads together.
I think it would be only one, the most popular one. He championed the free senior high school policy amidst the challenges that all the schools, the head teachers of the schools, the students are facing in the various institutions. I think that will be the only one, and the only one that comes into mind readily, because all the others are too far back in their proper implementation if you compare that to the free senior high school program. Unfortunately, it would be the sole remembrance of the president.
That's Crosby's opinion.
That's right.
Yeah. But I mean, if you're looking for a legacy, Maybe we can look for the definition of what a legacy is.
In fact, let's do that.
Let's do that and find out what the meaning of legacy is, and then mirror it to what we have done with all the policies. And look, the goodwill that the government had, particularly Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, because everybody thought that, oh man, he has tried too many times. Let's give him an opportunity. This is the guy. And you know, interestingly, the budgets, Asempa budget, Ejuma budget, Impuncho budget, Nkoswa budget, Ajenkwa budget. Then they say what? Nkambu budget. And then there's the last one is what? The last
Asempa budget.
No, it's not Asempa budget. The last one we read, the one we're implementing now.
Then was that Ajenkwa?
No,
that's not Ajenkwa as well.
Inkunim
budget.
7 budgets. Right? 7 budgets. Inkunim budgets.
Right.
Now, you listen to the names of the budget, it tells you a story. No, there's been good news. There's a savior. There's progress. There's work. But you ask the people whether they feel these things, and they say no. But as a student of political science and having practiced in the media, I would have thought that Nana Addo would have done a totally different thing. You know why? Nana Addo is the only president who got into power after he had turned 70. So it means he came to the table with a lot of experience, at least in the Fourth Republic. And even beyond the Fourth Republic, but just let's limit it to the Fourth Republic. Jerry Rawlings was under 50. He was young, just about 40-something when he became, right? Then Kufuor comes in about 52, 53-ish. Then after Kufuor was Mills, 57, 58-ish, right? Then after him comes John Mahama, 52, 51, 53-ish. Then comes Akufo-Addo, 70 plus. So if you put together the ages, 42 is, he's still growing.
Yeah.
52, he's trying to mature. 58, he's there, but I can't kakra. 52, 53, oh yes. 70, when you
he has seen everything.
That was why when he told the people that I am not coming to spend your money because I have my thing already and I will not tolerate A, B, C, D. People say, oh yeah, that's the guy. 70 years there, you have seen everything. Now, 70 years governance compared to the ones before you. If you don't even compare NDC and MPP, compare MPP 1 under Kufuor and MPP 2 under Akufo-Addo. And you what does a legacy say? What does it mean?
So we have the definition from the Oxford Dictionary, but I'll go ahead because there's a better explanation, I think, on the internet. So the question is, what is your legacy?
Let's get the definition Oxford first.
Okay, let's do that.
Yes.
A legacy is the long-lasting impact of particular events, actions that took place in the past or of a person's life.
Okay.
And when you expand that further,
long-lasting.
Long-lasting.
Yeah.
When you expand that to the question of what is a legacy or how do you leave a legacy as a person, it's the definition of a lasting legacy is the positive impact your life has on other people, friends, colleagues, and even strangers. Your legacy is the sum of the personal values, accomplishments, and actions that resonate with the people around you.
Ask Crosby the question again, based on this knowledge.
Crosby, what would you say is the president's long-lasting legacy based on this explanation? Oxford Dictionary and expanding it further.
What was your second definition again?
I'll take it again. The definition of a lasting legacy, Crosby, is the positive impact your life has on other people, friends, colleagues, and even strangers. Your legacy is the sum of the personal values, accomplishments, and the actions that resonate with the people around you.
Let's take the first one. Based on the first one,
Sure.
I still think, yes, I still think people remember.
Because positive impact.
Yes.
I mean, Johnny, are you saying that?
You can't
Crosby,
take it
let me
away from
slide
the
tackle you just a
president.
moment because
See.
Johnny is in hysterics.
See.
Positive impact.
Let me tell you something.
Sure.
I hold the view that free SHS is a good policy.
Okay.
I've said that too many times on TV, on radio, in private conversations, everywhere. It's a very good policy. Because some of us, because of our position in society, we have had the duty or obligation to support children to go to school. So if that burden will be taken off me and my taxes will be used to raise the children, hallelujah. But what is equality? And yesterday I told you that the government is quick to take credit for children who score good grades, right? But what contribution does the government make to getting those good grades? As I speak to you, the Form 1s at West Africa secondary schools, they don't have desks. So the teachers come, they introduce themselves. Hello, my name is so and so. I'm to teach you maths, blah, blah, blah. Chit chats with them and walks away. Because there are no desks. The children are hanging around the window and the rest. I showed the video on Johnny's
That's
Bite.
right.
How is he supposed to teach anything? Because math, you need to sit, listen, learn, analyze, calculate, blah, 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 deduct, subtract, analyze. So how do you say that has been a meaningful impact in the lives of these children? And that's not the only school. Parents have paid more. Look, the whole year of free SHS, you're getting about 1,300 cedis. Parents are paying more than 1,300 cedis to support their various schools.
That's right.
Silently. Those schools that are not able to keep their mouths shut, they have their headmasters and headmistresses being interdicted or punished for it.
As we saw towards the end of the year.
Because they're asking us for food. And I wish William were here. He will corroborate what I'm saying.
That's right.
They ask us for food, old school union. They ask us for rice, gari,
Cleaning
salt,
products, sanitary products.
sanitary pad, soap, this, that. Some schools are buying lawn mowers.
That's right.
Some schools are buying iron. Some schools are buying, a whole lot of things. So parents are paying more than when it was not free. So now the reality is that you have not contributed as much as you are supposed to, or you promised to contribute, because the promise was that just carry your things and go straight to school. Forget about everything.
It's taken care
It's
of.
taken care of. Now the children get to the school and the things that you said will be taken care of are not there. So now parents have to be cooking to take to their children in school, or have to give the school money to buy the raw products to cook. Textbooks are not there. So when you say it's a lasting, what have you done? I mean, in terms of quality, right, Helen? We went through the local education system.
That's right.
In terms of quality, are you able to pick an SHS Form 3 student who left, who has not had any private classes on their own, supervised by their parents or funded by their parents, who has not attempted to write the NOVDEC on their own, who has not done any peer learning on their own, and has just gone through the TikTok education that they have been giving?
The 2 months, 2 weeks.
2
weeks,
1 week, 3 weeks,
2 months.
quarter. Put the quality together. We spent 3 months in school, right?
That's right.
And for 1 term.
That's right.
And the whole year we spent 9 months in school. So if you say you attended Wesley Girls, I know you, you know me. And we had a certain relationship, and we had, that whole school environment, that raising up, and all of that, those things have been taken away. Even common parent-teacher associations have been disbanded.
Now it's PA.
Yes, but the teacher is the one taking care of my child. The parent is the one who gave birth to the child. And they cannot come together as stakeholders, together with the school, to raise my child. They say teachers don't join. What are you trying to achieve? Then you spend 68 million cedis to buy past questions, hoping that the children will pass the exams, and then they just become statistics. Then the children fail, and then they do videos to insult the president. And everybody say, oh, let's pick the children up and punish them. Now who caused them? So is that the legacy? If that is a legacy, let's wait for the next 10 years. And then let's see. Because sometimes, sometimes you go and guest lecture in a university, and you listen to the level 100s, and you listen to the English construction, you ask them basic questions, things that they are supposed to know, because education is built upon. And then they can't even answer those basic questions. So then you ask yourself, what quality of secondary and basic education did we give them before they got into the universities? You always ask that question. Ask any university lecturer of your choice. The intake that comes into level 100, what is the quality? Ask them. They will tell you. I'm not making this up. It's the reality. Call Kofi Asare now. Call Peter Party Ante. Call them. It's a serious matter.
And this is the tune that they're singing. So Johnny says, brilliant initiative on the outset, but is that a legacy? From what Johnny has says, absolutely not. So in total for you, no legacy for our president.
I said, let's pick the policies one after the other. Let's do the proper analysis. Strength, opportunities, threats, and the weaknesses. Let's do a SWOT analysis on it. Let's do the meaningful impact that you talk about of family, friends, blah, blah, blah.
Those around you,
yes,
policies that
yes,
resonate.
Thank you. And then let's come back and ask the question based on those deductions that we have made. And ask yourself, what is a legacy? Does this match and fit into the definition of a legacy? If it is yes, who am I to say no? If it is no, who am I to say yes? That's all. Bottom line.
Time check. It is some 6 minutes to the top of the 7 a.m. This is still 3FM Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. Head over to our Facebook page. We are at 3FM 92.7. We're asking you to wade into this conversation. We're gauging the temperature. What do you believe President Akufo-Addo's legacy is? It's also on X. Do check us out at 3FM 927, all one word. Let's have a discussion on that. Highly interactive. Hashtag is 3FM Sunrise. Because we wanted to bring us a little bit back to SML. But before you get into that, because Kasil Atuforsin, doctor, minority leader in the House of Parliament, he's also commented on the presser from the presidency indicating that KPMG is to audit the SML agreement. He says President Akufo-Addo's appointment of KPMG to audit the so-called Revenue Assurance Agreement between Ghana Revenue Authority, GRA, and Strategic Mobilization Limited Ghana has come too late in the day. Parliament has already directed the Finance Committee to audit the infamous agreement, and the committee is has actively seized the matter. The president, who should have led this fight in the wake of this scandal, is playing catch-up, since Parliament has also directed GRA to suspend all payments to SML. He goes on to say, this whitewashing attempt by the president in the name of an audit will not dissuade Parliament from looking into the matter to stop the siphoning of state resources into the pockets of government officials and the crony business partners. An update to that, because we talked to us.
It appears KPMG has been fingered for a potential conflict of interest in the matter. It is yet to start investigating. So this revelation is coming from Benjamin Boachi of A7. There's also Bright Simmons. So Benjamin Boachi, in a tweet on X, says KPMG has its integrity at stake if it accepts this job. It is a client of GRA, and its investigation against the leaders of one of its large portfolios is exceedingly suspicious, simply unethical. Then Bright Simmons also says, for the record, the key civil society activists probing this SML contract reject the president's decision to ask KPMG to do a rushed review of Ghana's decision to hire a timber merchant for a fee that could top $1 billion over time in the name of auditing commodity exports. So it appears all is not smooth. KPMG was mentioned just a few hours ago, and already doubts have been raised over their ability or capability to investigate this from civil society organizations. They've been calling this a review, and they're not calling it an investigation or an audit, as the president puts it.
Well, we're watching as this unfolds. Johnny?
Do you still see a legacy of fighting corruption?
Well, for me, as far as corruption is concerned, and you've listed a number of investigations, probes that have taken place, and we're still waiting to hear back. And in fact, I don't know if we'll hear back. Mention IGP, mention Adrasafo, who's my MP, by the way. All these other issues.
Do you remember Sputnik v. Chobo?
Yes.
Sputnik v. Chobo.
Sputnik v.
Chobo probe. The only thing left is for them in Parliament to take a decision on Kwekwaji Mamenu. He took those three ministers to the Asantini and says that they are the most vilified ministers in the country. The president.
That's right.
I will use the Anas principle. And you know that the Sputnik V thing was exposed from here, right?
That's right.
Because when we started asking questions, the MP for Dormaa Central said, I've not paid any monies. Forget the media is telling lies. Then we spoke to Marcus Tobiasen of the VG newspaper. And Marcus Tobiasen told us that this is a recording. I spoke to Ken Ofriata. He has confirmed that we have paid money. So we played it on TV3 in the morning And then by 9:10 a.m., here was Kweku Agyeman-Manu, who had the day before under oath said, I haven't paid any money, confessing that I have paid money indeed, and that we are taking steps to recover the money. How much were the vaccines being sold? Even when people were at their lowest and people were dying, they needed vaccines. We wanted to profiteer. That's the height of it. When people, COVID had come, COVID food, COVID this. You saw the COVID special report.
That's right.
When we started asking for that report, our own Kojo Nkrumah, who Minister of Information, he said, we have not finished the spend. How do we give you an account? Which is fair. But then when we went to the IMF, we're still collecting COVID tax.
That's right.
Don't forget.
That's right.
When we went begging the IMF, Ghana Beyond Aid went begging the IMF for aid. And the IMF said, go and bring your COVID report. That one, we found reason to go and bring the report, even though we had not finished the spend. Because if you collect taxes, you spend it. We had not finished the spend. But suddenly that principle was missing because we were at our lowest. And you saw the infractions in the report.
That's right.
Felicity Tete, MPP, Northern Regional Chairperson said, oh, they gave me 100,000. I even gave 50,000 to this person and 50,000 to them. So even the COVID money that was supposed to help people, nose masks, sanitizer, Veronica buckets, people with comorbidities, all of that, we were using that for politics. In the heat of the Baumia and Alan Tremanting, their campaign for the flag bearership, you heard Wontumi and the Alan camp. They said we should ask Chairman Wontumi. They gave every constituency 20 million of COVID money, right? Every region, in fact, 20 million of COVID money to do party business, to take care of party. They should ask Wontumi where that money is.
What happens to that report and the infractions that were cited?
I said, no, nothing will happen. You people, you have too much hope.
We're not turning any corner.
You have not gotten to the question.
Professor Gachi, Professor Bokpin, Professor Peter Quarty, name all the great guys who speak to us about finance and issues of the economy. Dr. Kwachi, IEA, blah, blah. They said we have not turned the corner. Finance Minister and the President are the only people who insist that we have turned the corner. When you ask them where the corner is, we don't know where the corner is. How have you turned the corner?
Questions that need answers.
Is it corner at Osu or where?
Oh, no.
Okay.
We're turning the corner indeed. And that's the message that the president had for us for the new year. He says this is going to be our year. But as far as SML is concerned, we'll be expanding the conversation on that further as the morning progresses, because there are updates to that. And what really does SML provide for the Republic of Ghana, such that we're willing to part ways with an alleged sum of $100 million.
You want to talk about Kelny GVG?
Pardon?
Kelny GVG.
Let's talk about Kelny
You remember
GVG. Tell us more.
Suba Info Solutions.
You remember we complained about Suba, Sada, Chida. We complained about them.
That is true.
And we made a monster of other people. That was the basis. Crawler and Associates, Kelny GV. You remember Domelovo?
That's right.
I was hounded out of office. His office door was changed, so I have
Locks
an office. I go on leave. They changed my key. I have even not done my proper handing over, inventory, everything. But it was pushed up. The courts, the highest court of the land, the apex court, said the president acted unconstitutionally.
What becomes of that?
The president is a constitutional lawyer, respected. You read the law reports. Constitutional lawyer, very respected one. They cite him in those reports. Here is the Supreme Court taking a unanimous decision to say he acted unconstitutionally. To wit, he acted lawlessly. To wit, he has been a lawless person, a lawless lawyer. Has he apologized? I leave that to you, Jacob.
Bob Marley has something for us. Take a listen.